Welcome to the show. Let's see what has been happening in the wrestling world. Welcome to the show, where comedy meets wrestling by fans for fans. The Two Counts, always the best guests in Midwest. The Two Counts, wait time guaranteed because we're the best of the best. Meet Big Ace and JR, Top Shelf Tommy, we're about to start. Welcome to the Two Counts. It's time to dig deep into the wrestling world. Welcome to the Two Counts, where comedy meets wrestling by fans for fans. The Two Counts.
The Two Count. The Two Count. Where comedy meets wrestling. Please comment, share, like, and start a hype train for God's sakes. And now, here are the hosts of The Two Count. Comedian John Russell, wrestling broadcaster Big Ace, and everybody's favorite heel, Top Shelf Tommy.
Good Tuesday evening, everybody. Ace, I'm going to let you go ahead and take care of a little business here before we start. Turn your mic on.
Is it on now?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
God, that's the worst place for a button when you take these on and off. You know what I mean? Anyways, you guys know that a couple weeks ago, me and a lot of my friends were going through some hard times. We lost a very good friend of ours in a really, really tragic accident. But up in Burnsville, we lost our good friend Adam while he was trying to save a police officer's life in the line of duty. So in honor of that, a lot of us here in town are doing red lights on our windows or porch lights tonight. So that's on my window. But real quick, just for his birthday, I'm gonna do a little shot of tequila here for the brother, for the hero. We love that guy, so we're gonna do this for him. And it's good for the throat, guys. It does wonders.
Well, I don't know about tequila, but whiskey sure as hell does.
It does wonders. By the way, are you the intro? Because this is changing. We've said this before. The intro, the new intro is coming, created by our very good friend Nerd D. So it's really exciting to see what that's going to be like. But my question is, are you going to have the same voiceover guy at the end that's at the end of the jingle now?
I could. I'd like to just see what Nerd D does with it, and maybe we don't need it at all.
Very excited. There may even be a possibility we have Nerd D on. We usually have him on right after Mania. That might still happen. We'll let you know as we get closer to. He's got his big shows with the Minnesota Orchestra, though, that weekend. So if you haven't seen the promo videos that they're putting out together.
Hilarious.
Yeah, this show's going to be great. So very, very excited. What's up, the freak? So, yeah. Anyways, I'm excited for the new intro. I feel like that one's a little long.
Oh, well, I don't know how long it is, but it's certainly served its purpose, and it deserves to be updated for sure by somebody as talented as Nerd D. I want to say, and I don't know if they're in chat or not yet, but holy cow, what a surprise! You know, Ace, that Tom and I were working this weekend at New Hope Cinema Grill, and what a surprise to come into that theater and see Dan and Stacy sitting there.
Yeah,
absolutely mind-blowing. Those are more than, hey Tina, those are more than fans, those are friends. And I kind of feel like everybody that's stuck with us are friends. There he is. Danny, gosh, what a surprise for you to show up. But I do want to say, holy cow, did Top Shelf Tommy Chillstrom bring the crowd?
People actually like me, everybody. Let the news ring out to the world. People actually like the Top Shelf. 22 of my family and friends came out to celebrate a big show with myself somehow opening for this old dickhead. So, I
want to say this too. Tom did a really good job of prepping all of his friends. Because when I go up and I say, "Oh, thanks for applauding," like you know who I am, and then a bunch of them in the front row are yelling at me, "Oh, well, we know who you are. You're the old guy on Twitch." And
Sir.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah. Well, because it's not like it was just Dan and Stacy as our only viewers.
Right.
My buddy Mike, who's been with our watch-alongs, him and his wife Ashley were able to make there. My coworker and friend Craig and his wife Hannah were able to make it as well. So he's also watching the show every once in a while. He doesn't necessarily give us any chats, but he'll tune us in and keep us on background noise on Tuesday sometimes. So yeah, huge show. Lots of friends and family came out. I ended up drinking till the bar next door closed at 1:00 with my cousin and his wife and stepfather. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Oh, here we go, Malice. I mean, I'll take a sorta from Malice. Good to see you in the chat, buddy. Thanks for being here. Also, too, I want to make sure we point out this again. Dan says, "Hi, JR. Hi, Tom. Fuck off face." I feel like this is the first time Dan's gotten pissed at you, dude. So, like, here's the holiday for me, man.
Here's the deal. If you guys would have been like, "Hey, we're coming over to a surprise," because you got to remember, I'm like an hour and a half from that theater. Mm-hmm. So, like,
semantics. They're like 4 hours away.
And I had to work that day, so it's kind of like. Also, kind of had planned on going to the Pinnacle show in town here, because I'm interested to check out more indie wrestling when it comes to town, since it doesn't usually come to town.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I was checking that out. If I would have known, also the other thing is I had to work the next day too. If I would have known, I would have maybe made a little more effort to come up and hang out with them and watch you guys. But I didn't know, and I put up with you two every freaking Tuesday.
I'll say this:
I just spent the week with Tom in Florida and Mexico.
There you go. I'll say this for myself. I was not as upset that Ace didn't show up, because Ace sees me when I'm down in Rochester, and I mean, I don't know if you ever seen Tom do comedy, Ace.
Yeah, I drove to that freaking Lansing Corners place in the middle of nowhere to watch.
And you also saw me at Goonies before. Don't act like you've gone.
Oh yeah. When you
all the way across.
No. Yeah, anytime you two are at Goonies, I'm there.
Yeah. April 12th, by the way.
I don't want to waste too much time on this because it's a past event. But Tom, it was great. All of your friends that were there were awesome. I had a super fun time with them. And then there also happened to be a group that was celebrating a guy's 70th birthday, and they were all hospice workers. So that was a little bit crazy and goofy too. It was all right in my wheelhouse.
Those are your people, JR.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, I don't want to waste a whole lot of time on this because we have an absolutely fantastic guest tonight. And Ace, I'm going to let you go ahead and introduce him.
I don't know why you do this. You should just introduce this.
Because you're the ring announcer. Do your fucking job, Ace.
But it's different on a podcast. You know what I mean?
No. You're the man with the voice that everybody recognizes. You're the man.
We're on radio just as much. Like no one recognizes. Okay.
If I went to
well, either way, our guest is better than you two.
Yeah.
And our guest is probably one of the best in the Midwest. Probably in the country going right now on the independent scene. You've probably seen him all over. And man, we've, Tommy and I, to be clear, because JR, you don't get to make it out a lot, but Tom and I have been fortunate enough to be able to work some shows with this gentleman and see firsthand the talent that he is. And we're very excited. It's been a long time coming. Everybody, welcome the legendary JT Energy.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yes, look at that.
Oh, wow.
Awesome to have you on this show.
Water.
Awesome.
I've never been introduced on a podcast and then people clap for me. That was the first.
What kind of shitty podcasts have you been on?
I mean, there's usually like one person, sometimes two, and I'm like, whoa, two people. But this, see, we got a fatal four-way here, and I'm not ready for this. Or am I?
Oh. Well, I think you're always ready for it because you've clearly understood that at least one of us is a big time moron. I got to make sure everybody's aware that If you feel any animosity from JT Energy towards myself, I fucked up his music one time, everybody. I totally fucked it up one time in Newton, Iowa for a Madhouse show, and I feel real terrible about it, so I'm going to make sure my apologies have now been hitting the internet. JT Energy, I apologize for fucking up your music on that intro. Totally outlined.
Did I give you a song and you couldn't play that song, so we had to go with something else?
I couldn't find the song in the
You couldn't
playlist.
find the song. Okay,
it wasn't I mean, it was Ace's computer. I couldn't find where it was. I didn't see it on the list or anything like that. And then I had to play fucking some Marilyn Manson song that just really does not fit with your intro at all.
No, I'm sure that was fine. I'm sure you threw it at me and I'm like, you know what? Tonight, that's the vibe I'm feeling. So
Yeah, but then still found it afterwards because then Ace showed me where the fuck I could do a search. So,
hey, that's the fun part about it. This is also a new thing. I like being able to see my computer and all these little fun little comments pop up where I can just see people. That's really nice, but it don't matter. I mean, that's the beauty of music. Like some days you could live and breathe and die by one song, but every now and then, let's see what the soundtrack of your life brings you. And that night I had something just a little different. And for that event, I'm sure that was absolutely fine.
Well, I will say this though, as far as your intro music with the what would you say they call the techno version of Unsolved Mystery theme?
So yeah, at the time I was if you ever go to YouTube and you search Unsolved Mysteries theme heavy metal remix, it brings up that it's got some really like shredding guitars over it, which is kind of cool. And that's always kind of been the thing that if you can take a song and I guess tweak it a little bit, like because you're really shooting for the low ball or the lowbrow fruit. If you just go with the one that everybody knows, then you don't tweak it just a little bit to make it your own. But like, it's hard to get away from what you know or what you know the crowd will know, because when that first note or two hits and everybody perks up because they know that song, it's kind of a good feeling.
Oh man, we're gonna get into this too, because if you can't tell already, JT has a DJ background as well, and that's kind of the similar thing to what I came from as well. So we'll get into that in a little bit, but we'll get the one like basic thing that I think we always do on this show, and that is I don't want to be like really like nerdy about it, be like, where did you train? What made you? But what we always ask to start out is, where did your love for pro wrestling begin and really start to grow?
VHS tapes. VHS tapes. Let's see if I can tweak this a little bit before. It's a spin on the old tale I've told before, but my fondest memories as far as like what sold me on pro wrestling were the old Coliseum home video VHS tapes. When I lived in Tulsa, Oklahoma, just a couple blocks away from our home, the weekends were always, let's go to the video store. And when you went to the video store, I was always lucky enough to be able to rent a video game and rent a movie or something of that nature. So you got both of them. But my problem with the video games were just like behind JR there, you couldn't wait to play pro wrestling. But then when you played it, you were like, I want to rip my eyeballs out. I can't take this. These two buttons really aren't getting it done for me. And when you get beat a couple times, you just get so mad right away because you don't understand it. And a lot of times, they didn't come with the booklets, or if they did, they were like photocopied booklets and they weren't giving out the real thing because they'd get stolen.
Mm-hmm.
So I got real tired of video games pretty quick at an early age in some of those regular Nintendo Entertainment System ones. But when you saw the Coliseum home videos, especially when we got to the early 90s, where you're getting into probably WrestleMania 4 and up, that's when things started to get real colorful. The marketing was real spot on. Iconic Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam covers. That's what hooked me. I can't tell you how many times I probably went there, rented a WrestleMania or Royal Rumble, sat and watched that thing. And because I had no idea what order they should be watched in, I would just rent new ones and then I'd see new people, or I'd try to like understand what was going on. Because last time I saw that guy, he wasn't doing that. I didn't understand the concept of like what was happening month after month or week after week. But that's where it first stemmed from. My love of pro wrestling absolutely came from VHS home videos.
Dude, I love. See, like I didn't get into the videos because we had the illegal cable box. in my family. So like we just recorded him when they
Yeah.
play, you know what I mean? But like
Yeah.
I remember later in life going to the video store and being like, wait a minute, they got like wrestling there? What? Oh, Lord Alfred Hayes.
Oh my
Right.
God, yeah.
Ah,
Lord Alfred
so
Hayes is
good.
great.
So good.
Absolutely. Now, so obviously with VHS, there's a lot of people who wrestling fans here and there got into tape trading as they got older. Did you ever get into that too, or were you just, hey, I'm going to the video store, I'm getting the Coliseums, or did you find your way into tape trading and find some of the other entertainment of wrestling out there?
No, negative. I was very much the kid where if you wanted to watch what I had, you could come to my house, or I could go to your house and we could watch what you have. But no, I'm not trading you my stuff because I don't trust you with my things. It only takes one. It only takes one thing. One time as a kid, where if someone breaks one of your things, or
Yeah.
you see someone do something, you're like, never again. I don't care if you tell me to share or not. I'm gonna watch that kid like a hawk while I got my stuff. But no, I never got too deep into anything as far as like tape trading. Maybe every now and then, if like I can remember WrestleMania 12, someone did tape that, and I think they brought it the next day on the school bus, I think,
Nice.
and they gave it to me, and so I could watch it. And I thought that might be one of my first times where someone like gave me a tape so I could watch something because I wasn't there to see it.
So who was your guy when you were watching these tapes? Like who was the one that stood out?
I would say when I first started watching, if I were to guess, I was probably drawn to Ultimate Warrior strictly for like just his overall presentation. But Hulk Hogan was like the build around all of those major events. I think Macho Man hooked me as well. Same on the level of the Warrior, but Macho was he had more character, he had more depth. So like anytime I watched him, he must have been one of the first people I saw transition from like a heel to a baby face, because from him winning the title at WrestleMania 4 and then transitioning into the Macho King and his match with Warrior and his retirement or his wedding with Liz, like all these different ups and downs. Like to me, when I look back on it, a lot of times I'm always like, oh no, Macho Man was my guy before I knew what my guy was. I think Mr. Perfect also hooked me at that time real early. Like something about the simplicity. And when I look back, it's probably the way that he sold and the idea that a guy just comes down, chomping on the gum, does the towel toss, slaps the gum away, like the most simple things that you're like, oh, that's cool. That's different. So, but I always try to pick my like favorites. They go by generational, because everything changes. It seems like every kind of 10 years, or we have like the golden era, the new generation. I have like my own personal favorite from each generation that I always kind of build my own little Mount Rushmore of my favorites on.
Dan, one of our actually the longest viewer that we've had, wondering about whether you watched any of the 80s NWA, Starrcade, War Games, any of that WCW stuff.
I didn't. The only early memories I have of WCW is maybe turning it on TV and seeing it, but not realizing why it wasn't WWF. Like me being like, this is wrestling, but it's not what I think wrestling is. But seeing Sting sticks out. Johnny B. Bad sticks out. Big, colorful characters.
Well, that's just fucking rude, Tovar.
see, that's the thing. I like to keep my levels of energy right where it's just enough, because I need to be able to turn it up. I can't run on 100 miles an hour. I can't floor it 100% of the time. That would be too Ultimate Warrior. But I've learned from the mistakes of the Ultimate Warrior. You slow down a little bit. You get some time and longevity if you change the speed you go.
You don't want to blow up your heart? Is that what I'm hearing?
Did you guys ever watch Camp WWE when that was on like the network initially?
I remember the commercials. I never watched it though.
They had an episode where like Austin runs away from the camp and he finds a cabin in the woods, and it's where they like basically locked Warrior, and then
Really?
all he does is play loud music and the guitar, rev a motorcycle, and eat candy all the time.
Yeah.
And like the whole point is like the Austin's like, hey man, I just need some real food and like a nap, like because he just never stopped the Warrior, which is exactly what you just say.
The wildest part is when I look back on all this and like my early memories with professional wrestling. So I was huge into WWF, but my first live event that I ever went to was a WCW house show in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The main event of that house show was Ricky Steamboat versus Stunning Steve Austin.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
Yeah, I like, as I've wanted to go back and dig into my own personal professional wrestling memories, I like found the card online, looked at everything, and I like kind of sat there and just looked at myself and was like, I can't believe I was there to witness this and not be old enough to like cherish what was happening in front of me. So it's just so wild to think that my first pro wrestling event was like littered with Hall of Famers, but I was just like this little elementary school kid, just like so excited to just see some type of pro wrestling, even though it wasn't WWF, it was still something.
So
That's huge,
from that point when you're a kid, how long does it take you to actually take that first step into the ring?
Way too long.
Yeah.
Way too long. So when I was a little kid, I can remember that question of what do you want to be when you grow up, and me multiple times being like, I want to be a pro wrestler. And I can remember like for years, it would almost like, I felt like it annoyed my family that was like the constant answer that I would always give. And I can remember a specific holiday where I gave that answer, and like very seriously, like 3 or 4 adults were like, well, you need to get good at this and this and this and this if you want to have the fundamentals to be a pro wrestler. And they were talking like finances and marketing, and like me not understanding anything, being like, I don't know what any of that has to do with what I see on TV. But as I get older, I'm like, I understand everything you were actually trying to give me as an adult in that answer. But I did not take my leap of faith until I went to WrestleMania 31, the first WrestleMania I ever had an opportunity to go to. Being in California as a kid from Iowa, standing there at the biggest event you could ever want to go to, and watching the guy from Iowa cash in, win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, sit on the stage, watch him spinning around, all the fireworks are going off. And I absolutely had a moment where I looked at him and was like, this couldn't be more of my sign of, that's a guy from Iowa who just did it. He just did everything I ever wanted to do. And let's just give this a try. Because I don't want to live with that constant fear of saying, what if I would have done this, or what if I would have not done that? So that found me on my journey of the search for a pro wrestling school, and through lots of different podcasts, especially like Colt Cabana's old podcast or JR's old podcast, when they would have people on, and every now and then they'd have people on like Lane Storm or Michael Elgin, who would talk about their pro wrestling school. So I knew they existed out there. I just did not know how to start and get my foot in the door. And then this little bitty thing called Black and Brave Wrestling Academy had recently popped up. Just so happens right around the time that I really got this itch to dig my feet into wanting to become a professional wrestler. And before I knew it, I had submitted an application. I had a response back saying, we accept you. And when I got that letter back, life got really real, because I knew I couldn't not do it now that I had done what I had done. So that was my journey, from being little to being a 30-year-old adult, saying, you know what, let's give this a try.
Okay, now let me ask you this. Now we'll pause on the wrestling aspect, but like, where did DJing come in for you, and where were you going with? Where was that when wrestling happened? Like, did that happen beforehand? And like, how How'd that journey go?
So DJing kind of went hand in hand with my lifestyle that I had cultivated while I was living in Ames, Iowa. I went to Iowa State and graduated from Iowa State with a degree in fashion design. But in my meantime, when I wasn't attempting to go to classes and finish homework that I didn't really want to do, I was a avid, prolific member of the Iowa State University Hip Hop Club, aka Dub H. And I danced with them for 8 years, somewhat involved with them for at least almost. And so dance became a part of my life in my 20s that I made almost like what I based my life around. Like it was and who I wanted to represent and build and cultivate and grow, like I've done with pro wrestling in my 30s. But while I was in the Iowa State Hip Hop Club, I was making friends. We wanted to go out and dance at all the local bars. Those of us that were of age, or if we were lucky enough, an 18 up night at some random place. But I would go out with my friends. We would dance. At the time, my girlfriend had landed a job as a bartender at one of the big dance clubs. And on like slow nights, like a Wednesday or a Thursday, she would always send out giant text messages to my friends saying, everybody come out. And I would want to go out and dance or whatever. And the music was just a playlist. It was same thing. We'd hear it week after week. Nothing new, just boring stuff. Every now and then they'd throw in the flavor of the week because that's what it was. And after a while, I got bored one night and I went up behind the stage because I knew the owner too. And I started just playing songs on the computer one after another. I was just messing around with stuff. And then my friends were like, awesome, we can choose what we want to listen to. This is great. You're like our own personal DJ. And the more I thought about that, the more I was like, I am very intrigued by the idea of this. And it started with as simple as I had iTunes. I would buy songs for 99 cents at the time. I would own those songs and then I would play them. And all I would do is take the fader all the way down on the volume, change the song all the way back up on the volume. So the origins of my DJ story were as simple as DJ, click, and play. And that's what I like ran with. I've never been an amazing like turntablist or anything wild. I feel like I am good at having this Rolodex of songs up here in my head, reading a room, and then knowing how to manipulate those people through the emotions of music. So that's where I started to build up my idea of what worked and what didn't when I was DJing in the different dance clubs. Then you buy your first piece of equipment. You start to learn how to do a little bit of stuff with fading or mixing. And before I knew it, it was like, okay, when I got the first night of like, hey, do you want to come in and you want to be our DJ on a Friday night? I was like, oh, that's one of the main weekend nights. Okay, I like that. And I had such a good friend group who was like, one, into drinking, two, into dancing, the two biggest things for a dance club, that we knew if we got our friends out, we were going to have a great night. And I can't tell you how much that helped cultivate my career as a DJ, especially in like the college scene where 99% of the bars in Ames, I DJ down. I can remember times where I had a Thursday, a Friday, and a Saturday booking on top of just working my regular shoot job. And I can tell you, when I look back on my DJing career, I love the idea of chugging Red Bulls, staying up late, making a big chunk of money, waking up the next day, not as sore as pro wrestling makes you, but with a decent chunk of money and just a lot of memories up there. Because I was the one, I don't drink, but my friends would get drunk. And I would be the one that would be like, guess what? I'm going to take your picture. I'm going to take your videos and we're going to have memories. And then I would show people and they would just be, oh my God. And it's one of those things that I've just carried over into my life now, doing my own wrestling vlogs and stuff like that, where I've cultivated so many memories in my life through things like dance and pro wrestling and DJing that I just don't want to forget any of them, or I want to be able to share them with my digital footprint. So that's a little bit of my life story when it comes to music, DJing, and dancing.
Oh man, that's amazing. That's that's basically like what I was doing. Like I never got into the turntables. I wasn't really, it was more just, doing some fades here and there, but really it was I could talk on a mic and I can read a room and get them on a dance floor. And yeah, there was like a solid. Well, JR, you were around town that time at the
Oh
Mickey
yeah.
there. I mean, that was like a good 6-year run probably over there that I had doing Thursday,
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday,
Nice.
doing all their big events. Uh, and it was the same. Like I learned really quick, like my first like month, I was getting drunk and having a blend, then real quick learn like I can't do this drinking. So that, and then I ended up running like any other DJ there was working under me. So like then I also had to like kind of set that example. So like it was a lot of the same where it'd be like maybe
Sure.
1:30 I'd get my first beer while everybody's just plastered and getting ready to go
Yeah.
home.
It was in like the more I talk about it every time, the relationship that I have in my brain and my body with a night of DJing is a absolute correlation to me being in a pro wrestling ring with an audience, because the high I would get from knowing what the next two songs were that were queued up, and probably the reaction I was going to get when I laid them down, and just when you do that and those people all like roar or like freak out, or they scream, it's like the idea of knowing what's coming in the match, and you're like, I cannot wait for these people to cheer or boo exactly how I want them. And then when you get that fulfillment, it's just this, it's this overwhelming emotion that's just like, knowing that you're just manipulating people's emotions with the perfect things at the perfect time is such a good feeling, whether it's the DJing, dancing, or the pro wrestling. Just entertainment when you can do that. And I'm sure you guys know the feeling with comedy. Like you have that punchline and you the first part hits good, but they don't even know the joke isn't even over. And then you're gonna really land there at the end and everybody's just roaring with laughter. Like that's the stuff that I think as entertainers you kind of live for in those moments.
Absolutely. By the way, just want to say hello to everybody that's watching us on X or formerly Twitter, whatever. A lot more people watching us this evening than some of our other shows. So I want to say hello to you.
Share the link, y'all. Share the link, y'all.
Absolutely.
So it's
Um,
actually, I was going to actually mention or even ask this question, but you answered it perfectly as far as when you are DJing and then you're wrestling and stuff, the psychology, you talked about reading the room. Do you believe that some of that stuff from your DJing life and seeing how people are reacting to with the music you're playing, do you believe that's kind of helped build you as a wrestler to where you are now with your persona? Because we've seen you multiple different promotions in Iowa and elsewhere where sometimes you're the good guy, sometimes you're the bad guy, just based off of how you come out and how the people react to you. I mean, how does that play like in your thought process, like leading to the match? I mean, obviously you said, wait till you see what I got, but how do you play that where you're just all of a sudden, oh, it's booing today? Because we've seen like in Absolute where one venue, one city might be booing you. And then the next time you're coming out to cheers because it's a whole different group. It's a whole different atmosphere. How do you play with that sometimes where it's just like, oh, I didn't expect that, but okay.
So the biggest thing that you have to take into effect in all the different scenarios and cases that you get into is all those people that pay money to be in that room. They are what dictate what they perceive as the pace or the fever pitch that is going to be in that room. And a lot of times when I walk out there, I could be a good guy, I could be a baby face, and I walk out and I look a little different, and one person says something a little weird and derogatory, right? All I need to do is stop, turn, make direct eye contact with that person, and then do something to make them laugh. Now they know that I see them, I've made them feel special, and that if they do other things, good or bad, they're probably going to get more attention. And that's why I feel like a lot of people they want to watch the show, but the level of connection that you make with different parts and areas of the crowd, that's where you bring your connection as a performer to the next level with the crowd, whether you want to be booed or cheered. A lot of times if you're a good guy and you're getting your butt kicked in the middle of a match and somebody slams you down and they put you in a rear chin lock, the first thing you want to do is look straight ahead of you. You want to see who in that first row cares. Who do you care about? And that's who I'm reaching to. That's the person I need to make direct eye contact with, so that way I can go ahead and help them come with me on this journey to hopefully get out of this chin lock. So that's the big kicker, is when I am going into a venue, I could do a lot of except much
Fucking
more
car.
clean than him, much more clean. Um,
Yeah.
uh,
Thanks,
Way
Glory,
more.
you dickhead.
Yeah.
when I go into a venue, I know, like, it's almost, I've done it so many different times as a good guy or a bad guy. I could do the same old song and dance that is so tired of just like getting the cheap heat, or like the cheap come on, like, it's when I see people doing that, it's time for you to like kind of step back and be like, hey, let me teach you a couple of things. Let me express to you what you can do as a performer. And especially like when you can control a room and a bunch of people are talking, but you need something to happen. It's amazing what you can do if you just put your hands up as a good guy and you just ask them to bring it down and be quiet. Or if you're a bad guy and you say, be quiet, guess what? You're not telling them to be quiet. You're telling them to get louder. And they don't know that, but you're reverse psychology in them. And that's kind of what you have to do when you go out there. You just have to see what people are yelling. See the ones that got energy. If I'm a DJ and I'm on the dance floor, whoever the drunkest, whitest girl is that is out there that is shaking her butt that everybody is getting attention from, whatever type of music she likes, I'm going to keep it going, because she is the one that is starting the party, and she will bring more people to me. So that way I can find more little groups to start to like manipulate and pick their favorite songs. So that way, if she gets tired and she starts to fade away, I now have 10 more people that have replaced her that can help grow my dance floor even more.
It's such a fun thing to watch too. Did you ever have to do weddings?
Yeah.
Did you do weddings? Okay, perfect. Yes. Oh, hey, dude. There's some people that don't like some. There's some DJs out there that like refuse. They're gonna only do the clubs or whatever.
No,
But
I
then
get that. I'm laughing about the fact of just like the almost dismissive, yeah, unfortunately, kind of tone.
Well, so weddings are like a different beast when it
Yeah.
comes to like the idea. And I am down to the point where I've turned into the $1 million man. And for any wedding, everybody's got a price. And if you meet my price, I'll do your wedding. But that's what it comes down to nowadays. Like, I have to like you enough, you have to pay me enough, and then I will put the pressure on my shoulders to make sure that I can make your wedding day as enjoyable as possible. No, absolutely. I don't ask if they have fathers alive or dead as far as the Christian comment goes.
What's your father's dead?
Weddings are much better if the dad gives away the bride. It doesn't always happen, but it's a cute moment. But
man.
there's multiple times where I have had the opportunity where I did the wedding and the reception, and after a couple of those, I was like, no way.
Right.
Standing somewhere during a wedding, knowing that you were in control of the microphone and the music, is like heart-stoppingly, like that's like working for WWE on TV for the first time. Like, your heart's pounding out of your chest because you can't have anything go wrong, or else you're done for. So I am a reception only DJ now, and I've gotten plenty far with that. The beauty of taking on the ability to get enough equipment and take on the responsibility of a wedding, it can come with a much bigger cash prize at the end of the night, and sometimes even more fulfillment. But it's very few and far between. I used to push myself with DJing just like I do pro wrestling, but I've learned in both capacities, if you slow down and you just make things a lot more enjoyable at your pace and more about just the experience and not the money, you'll probably get a little bit more out of it.
I gotta hear, just because there's always at least one or two. I want one or two of your best crazy just DJ stories. I'll give you one if you want to think. I'll give you my wedding one because.
Well, okay, my wedding one's easy. So
Okay.
I was in a little town in Iowa somewhere, and I had got a couple new lights, but this is I didn't really know about LED lights at this time. So these had the bulbs in them. They put out a decent amount of heat. They draw a decent amount of power. I had these, I was running 4 lights at once. And I was playing everything. Everything seemed like it was going okay. And then boom, 0 power, because I blew the breaker because I was drawing so much power running all 4 lights at the exact same time. And it's one of those moments where everything stopped and I had no idea what was happening. And then I realized oh, we flipped it back on. I can only run 2 lights at a time with those older lights because of the power that they draw and the heat that they pull and all those different things. So I learned that was one of my biggest learning experiences is I can just remember that moment. And I feel like it happened fairly early into the night. So it wasn't like things were really rocking and rolling and then
Right.
just nothing. But that's like my biggest like kind of blunder learning on the spot. And there's been a couple times where I think I was DJing. What was I DJing? High school dance one time.
Those are special.
Yep, that I got into proms and high school dances as well. Very happy and excited about that.
Yes.
And I drove maybe an hour and a half, and I realized I forgot one of the chords I needed, and it was like the town was small enough where I was like, I'm done. I'm SOL. And so like I got there, I'm like, I can do this. I have to be smart enough to know how to like make something work. And I think I ran something where I ran off like a singular speaker setup that night and made it work. But I was like so panicked in the moment of being like, oh my God, I have a guaranteed money coming to me right now. I have no idea if I can even play this gig. And if I can't play this gig, they're not gonna have anything. They're gonna have to run like a CD player over like the school speakers or something. And it worked out. I'm sure I panicked plenty, but I can remember like thinking to myself, realizing I didn't have something and then trying to like figure out who I even knew in the area where I could try to be like, do you have this chord? Do you have this chord? And it was one of those bone chilling moments where you learn once that if you forget something, now you overpack, you over everything from that point forward. If you're ever traveling, like I don't need one backup plan. I have 3 backup plans because
Yep.
there's no way I'm falling on my face when that much pressure's on me.
Oh, dude. This is after I wasn't even really doing DJing much, but I agreed to do a quinceañera in Milwaukee for my cousin for his girl's daughter. And I literally left my tub of all my cables in Minnesota and in my driveway and didn't even realize it till we got to the quinceañera. And then I had to go to Music Around and buy a bunch of shit. And then I was just mad because I also left my luggage. So I was like, we're going home. Like, I'm not staying here. We're driving 4 hours home. And then the other one for me was, dude, I had to collect pay for a wedding while the groom was just bawling his eyes out because his dad tried to fight the bride's dad.
Oh
and
my
brother.
God. Oh my God.
So this dude's dad shows up. He's never been in the guy's life apparently, and it's like an adult. They're trying, so he invites him to the wedding. This dude comes up from like Miami, and he looks exactly like basically Jerry Springer. And he brought a dude that was like just Miami'd out, you know, the blazer with like the t-shirt underneath. And they were just hitting on all the girls and just being gross. But the bride's mom made these mason jar solo cup glasses for the wedding. And like everyone got to take one. Well, dude's but dad's friend from Florida is taking one, and the bride's mom who made them didn't have one. So the dad's like, do you mind if we just take this? You know, she made all of them. She didn't get. And dad, who's like now drunk, and again, he's been trying to hit on every bridesmaid that was there, just gross, is like, oh, like starts puffing chest out at dad. And all of a sudden, volunteer fireman brother comes walking over from the bride and is just standing there like waiting for this guy to do something. Finally, like it gets a little tense, but the brother walked away, but then like he went back at the dad again, and the mom like was screaming, and next thing you know, the groomsmen are like pulling the dad out, and the groom sits down on my little specific stage that they had for me while I'm tearing all my equipment down, and he's just, and I'm hearing everything. Like the mom's like, he's a piece of shit. This is why he was never in your life. And the bride's like, if he fucking comes in here, I'm going to kill him. Like they're just going.
Oh my God.
And I'm just putting speaker pulse away. Like, and then the dad did come back, and the bride was just like,
oh my God.
And it was just this ordeal, dude. And I finally, like when I got my check, he's just like, and I'm like, hey man.
Yeah.
Congratulations. And tomorrow's going to be a good day.
Yeah. Hooray.
Yeah.
I felt so bad, dude. It was so awkward.
There's nothing in my, I should say, maybe there's nothing really off the top of my head that really sticks into my brain of like really epic, like horrible, like because I was in a college town, every now and then there'd be like a fight or something like that. But I always had, if I learned very quickly, if there was a fight in the bar and the cops got called and they came to get somebody at the bar, man, I just queued up the cops theme song when the cops came in. I played it. Everybody laughed their asses off. They thought it was hilarious.
Oh, that is the best, dude.
It's one of those things, yeah.
I did that with Crazy Bitch when the bouncers pulled some chick out 'cause she was fighting, and I hit it right on, and everybody's like, "Yay!"
Yeah. But
Why wouldn't you? Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do in a situation like that.
being able to just when you're in front of a big crowd and people get wild and crazy and shit goes down, like you just got to be ready. I'm sure in every facet of entertainment it happens.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Do you ever have anything that was like? Let me tell you the worst experience I ever had.
Oh, here we go.
I got asked, and I've had many, but I got asked to do a fundraiser for a guy that had pancreatic cancer. And
already a funny premise right there. So
there you go.
Roll with
It's hilarious, and it was in a small town in Wisconsin, and all these people were there, and it was little tiny kids, and it was people that were, to me, looked like they were 90. And this guy comes up to the three of us and says, "Oh man, I want you to be as dirty as you can be." And I'm like, no. And he's like, "God damn it, I'm gonna be dead in 3 months. I want to enjoy this." And it was the most miserable thing. And then between our comedy sets, they had karaoke. And these little kids are sitting on the stage, and everybody's just having a good old. And this guy is plastered. And I thought to myself, how would I react if I knew I was going to die and got to this level of acceptance where I didn't give a fuck about another human being, you know? And he's just like, and I ended up telling, at the time I did a stupid Elvis bit. So I have my Elvis sunglasses, and I told the guy that was the karaoke, I said, if this goes south, I'd like you to have these 3 songs lined up to do. And that's what I ended up doing, because I'm like, there's no way I'm doing that in front of because this guy is out blasted way in the back. He's not even paying attention. And all these other people that are helping him and giving him money are trying to be, it was the worst.
Oh, I mean, I would have loved to have been there if you actually would have been like, "Hey, this is his wish. Oh, so here we go." And just right away.
Yeah.
So
Well,
shit or
yeah,
something.
I mean that's absolutely an ideal scenario that happens in DJing, especially weddings, because I learned very early. I have a song list of what do you want me to for sure play, and then what do you want me to for sure not to play.
Mhm.
And then that way, if anybody comes up and says, I want you to play this, I go, actually, that's on the bride's do not play list. And I love when like it's a maid of honor and she is blitzed beyond just comprehension. And she goes, no, she said it's fine. Like in the same sentence of I said, no, you can't do it. And then she goes, no, she said it's fine. And I would be like, you actually have to bring her to me.
Yes.
She has to look me in the eyes and she has to go, it is okay for you to play that song now, because I'm not going to deal with this other drunk girl who thinks it's okay, who has her entire glass over my laptop, and I can't fight her. Otherwise she'll spill it and ruin everything.
Right.
And it's one of those scenarios where it's like, I have to step back, but it's also been that way in pro wrestling where you're having a great time. And then I made a post about this recently. You're having just the time of your life. You're sitting back, you're enjoying pro wrestling. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there's a guy over in the crowd and he just screams, grab his dick and twist it. And we all stop and we go, no, we can't do that. I can't. That's a disqualification. I can't do that. And then his friend goes, no, grab his, like, and if it's like I've seen it work both ways. I've been at a show where the crowd chanted it, and of course we gave it to him because then the crowd exploded. But then other times where it just doesn't go away, and you're like, you have to realize this can't happen. And if it can't happen, please stop cheering for it, because you're making everyone in this crowd feel so awkward, and someone's going to have to make you like shut up, or we're going to have to eject you, and you're going to lose your $10 of entertainment that you paid for tonight.
Oh no. Oh, that's so good.
Goro's just an idiot.
Okay,
Shut up.
Goro, there's a lot of things wrong with you. I want to know, when we, we've gotten to see you a lot, and like one thing that we've seen a lot lately that seems to be the running theme for you, and I love it, is you tie in kitties into the persona lately. So my question to you is, why are cats the most superior animal?
Oh God, here we go.
What, Tom?
Typical dog person.
Most superior animal.
Well,
You know, people are considered animals too, jackass. I mean, I'm just going to throw that out.
My cat is definitely better.
Shanky.
Shanky baby.
Yes. I have the best way to take a person into a professional wrestling character, when a lot of people kind of ask you, what are you going to be? Are you going to be a good guy or a bad guy? Or like, what are you doing? And you have to find parts of your personality that you can turn up to 11, because you want to take who you really are and then make that a complete explosion of what you could make it. And I've done a lot of different things when it comes to dancing, or just having a lot of vanity, or whatever you want to dip it into, with the incarnations of my different characters. And being weird, I have no problem being weird, or being the weird one in the room in public. So when I needed to, and I don't keep characters around for a long time, I've always looked at my characters like, yes, the Undertaker has been the Undertaker, but the Undertaker has evolved like 20 times, but he's always the Undertaker. He's just different reincarnations. Or like same thing with Triple H. He was a cerebral assassin. He was Hunter Hearst Helmsley, like from Greenwich, Connecticut, and doing the little curtsy dance. And you got to just be the same person, but evolve. And my newest evolution of trying to figure out how to get myself to the top of every single promotion I can be involved with is, I am the feline phenom, JT Energy. And a lot of people, when they see my presentation and they hear that, they go, okay, what's that? And why do you look like that? And I tried to tell them, I go, okay, so if I look at like Persian or Egyptian lore, like if I think of the idea or the movie of like 300, or something along the Mummy, when I think back to the way that presentation of the worship of cats, I really like that, because I'm one of those cat dads that, like, I probably love my cats too much. When people are like, we'd love to hang out with you, and I'm like, actually, I have a date with my cat at home, so no. I like people, but I like my cats more. I thought to myself, you know what? I am going to look inside myself, and I am going to look and see what that power is, that power of the feline, the power of the cat. Because I already see myself as a fairly formidable person when I'm inside the ring trying to get inside your head. But when it comes to the feline aspect of it, I try to tell people, because they're like, so you're like a cat? And I go, oh no, not even close. I'm a phenom with feline personality traits. The feline is before phenom, which is the adjective that describes the phenom. So when you see me come out and I'm wearing my own personal collar and maybe a bodysuit that looks like it is a cat print, and my mannerisms inside the ring, or the things that I do inside the ring, might have cat characteristics associated with them, that is just my way of showing my appreciation for the feline just species in general, whether it be the biggest and baddest Bengal tiger or the cutest, littlest kitty that could come from a barn. I love them all. I like them all. And as far as I'm concerned, from what I've seen around me, there's not many people that will take the idea or the aspect of something with the cat and push it as far as I have gone, to the point of getting some lovely little contacts I put into my eyes to make sure that every child sees fear when I look them deep in their face. And then making wives and husbands that come out to enjoy a date night together, making them feel extremely awkward as I stare deep into both of their eyes and souls, and then turn to them and then swivel my hips a little bit before sliding into the ring oh so elegantly.
I love it.
So
I love it.
the feline phenom draws a lot of things from characters from my past, especially the early 90s. I think people like Gold Dust and the early Mankind and Undertaker gimmicks, where people stop and they go, I don't know what it is, but I think I need to watch this just at least for like 60 more seconds to try to understand it. And then at the end of that 60 seconds, they go, I still don't get it, but I'm gonna keep watching. I'm not gonna turn it yet. That's where I want the mystery of who I present my characters. I want people to watch me, and even if they walk away from that show and they're like, I don't remember that guy's name, but do you remember this guy that looked like this? I'm that guy every time. I try to make sure I'm that guy, because I want people to walk away talking about me, looking for me on social media, telling their friends, you have to come to this next wrestling show. If this guy's on the show again, you're gonna lose your shit. Look at my Snapchat story that I took.
Goro, you're weird.
Goro is a little bit weird
coming out there. I love it, dude. I think it was the 8x10 I got last summer from you with the cat.
Oh yeah, you bought my design. I do remember that. Hell yeah.
And then to see it evolving right now into what you got going, man, I love it. And we're excited because we get to see it on Friday. Absolute Pro Wrestling, everybody. Cardiff Event Center, Fort Frenzy, this Friday night. What is it? 7:00 bell time? Yes, 7:00 bell time. 6:30 doors. We sure love coming down to the Cardiff Center. Well, sorry. Most of us really love coming down to the Cardiff Center in Fort Dodge. One of the people on this show would have something different.
Yeah, JT, let me ask you this. How much do you hate Fort Dodge? Just go ahead, let me know.
Fort Dodge it has really good memories in my mind, and it also has some really bad memories in my mind. I did go to Iowa Central Community College in Fort Dodge and graduated from there. So my first job as a human being was delivering papers for the Fort Dodge Messenger, which got me a scholarship, which got me into Iowa Central Community College. So Fort Dodge, it has some near and dear memories in my heart, but I have also never been in the vicinity of more people that want to fight on a regular basis than in the town of Fort Dodge, Iowa.
There we go.
I don't understand it, but in Fort Dodge, I have been in, around, or near fights that break out for what seems to be no reason, besides the idea of, yo, we're from Fort Dodge, and that means we're gonna fuck you up, even if you're from Fort Dodge.
Yeah, I'll be real honest with you. If you're from Fort Dodge, that means dick all to most people. Most people are just like, yeah, okay, so you live here. Congratulations. I'm bleeding, going back to a real city, like fucking any other city.
I do have some very solid people and that I do love that live in Fort Dodge. Have always lived in Fort Dodge. They are Dirty Dodge till the day they die, and they give Dodge a good name. But I've seen both sides of the spectrum, so I feel like I've tried to make friends with the right people in Fort Dodge, so that way, in case anything ever did go down, there was people around me that had bigger sets of cojones that were ready to fight way before me. I'll stand a little bit farther back because I'd rather fight smarter, not harder, and I'll raise my fist only if necessary in those scenarios. But some people, they step right to the front of the line, like good old JBL would, and just throw fists for no reason besides the fact that I'm tough, and that's it.
Now let me ask this real quick then too. Can you bring some of these good folk in Fort Dodge just so I can see them face to face and know that they exist? Because I have been to the Quick Trip, the Walmart, which is already just two places I don't really want to be there, and then the Fort Frenzy Center, and I can tell you, I have yet to see somebody who is
first off
clean.
You're starting in the wrong places. You're going to the nearest convenience store, then you're going to Walmart.
I get it.
Just so you know, Target's right across from Walmart.
I know.
Maybe try there this time.
I didn't know until I got into the parking lot at Walmart, and I'm like, I don't know how to get out of this place without buying something somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, it's I mean, there used to be a mall, but that mall, the mall of my memories that was the one there through most of my life, has slowly deteriorated over time, and now it is no more. But the memories of that Fort Dodge Mall, the place I first got my wrestling t-shirts, I went to Sam Goody and bought my VHS, my CDs, my South Park stuff. Just like that mall was the mall that I bought my PlayStation 2 from when I graduated from high school. That's where I cultivated a lot of memories in Fort Dodge, where I wasted countless hours of gas driving around, because Fort Dodge was the closest town that had a McDonald's, and they were 24 hours at a certain point in time before this world got real dumb. And I would be like, you know what? It is 12:30 a.m. Let's just drive to Fort Dodge. I feel like I want to get some stuff off the dollar menu. And when you go there enough and you roll up and you order, and then the person on the other end, they know you by your first name, you know you're a regular and you're having a good night.
Oh, the dollar menu. I miss it. Oh, that's so great. Well, I'll tell you what, everybody, we're going to make some great memories Friday night down there in Fort Dodge, Absolute Pro Wrestling. Get your tickets. Front row sold out. Second row about to be sold out. General admission still available. Get down there. I think you're facing Alvin Falcone.
Yeah, I'm normally on a lot of posters in the past, I've been the guy that's yelling, but Alvin is very yelly on that poster. As you can see, he looks like he just had too much Taco Bell and it's coming back to get him. I am right across from him. That is the end of the evolution of the unsolved mystery in that picture. Yeah, I'm making look at that real dirty little mustache I got going there, real cute. But that was the last promo picture and that incarnation of my character. But I do get to face Alvin Falcone, who is a good-sized human being, very formidable opponent. I was lucky enough to have him as my tag team partner, but that night he kicked me in the face on accident. I did not like that on accident stuff, so I gave him a scissors kick to the back of the head and said, we done. And then we were given a blow-off match that wasn't a blow-off match in Waterloo, where I went one-on-one with him. And that was maybe only the second time I had ever done the Feline Phenom character in that evolution of it. So it was like just the start of it when we did the Waterloo show. And that night, because I was still getting my feet wet, I was still trying to land on my feet as a cat would do. I was unfortunately not victorious that night. I can remember the funniest thing was I walked around the ring and I stopped in front of this family, and this dad looked at me and he goes, "This is what we paid for." This is what we paid for.
Now, there was a guy there that night, I will say this, that absolutely hates referee Joey Jojo. And for no other reason than just because he's Joey Jojo, and this guy can't stand him. And at one point, I also thought that I was going to have to remove him from the fucking gym because he was being such an absolute dick to Joey Jojo. So it might have been the same guy, because
could have been.
He seems like a real winner in my book.
I did eat a big L that night, and Alvin Falcone did get his hand raised in victory. But Fort Dodge is real close to my family in my hometown, and I have a feeling that my feline family will probably hopefully be in attendance, and if they bring cats, even better. Not necessary. I also don't know if they're allowed in the Cardiff Event Center, but
bring all the kitties.
You never know. I could turn myself into a Teddy Hart gimmick and start bringing a cat to the ring with me.
As long as that's the only thing you do that's similar to Teddy Hart.
I was going to get there. But yeah, I do get the opportunity to avenge my loss and hopefully secure, honestly, my first victory in Absolute Pro Wrestling. I've had multiple times of being in an Absolute Pro Wrestling ring in tag teams, and guess what? Every time we lose. Not my fault. I did get my first singles match against Alvin. Ate a big low down power bomb that night, and I was done for. But my goal this Friday night is to lock my version of the Lion Tamer, which I call the Breath Taker, on Alvin Falcone and his big long legs, and just bend him back and make that big grown man cry and scream for mercy, and watch him take that hand and with every single one of those fingers tap out for me and tap out and tap out.
So what you're saying is Alvin Falcone is probably in for a catastrophe.
Oh, yeah,
Ooh,
absolutely is.
I love it.
Now, can we move on from the cat puns?
Hey, this place is littered with cat puns.
Yes.
Are you doing the March Madhouse?
Is
Are you doing
weeks,
Madhouse?
Is that 2 weeks away?
Yeah.
23rd?
23rd? You betcha I am.
Hell yeah, brother.
It's going to be JT Energy against Nico Klein in a second time ever matchup. During the pandemic era, SDW Pro was shooting secluded matches in the Black and Brave Wrestling Academy gym, and I had a chance to face Nico Klein in one of his first matches that is available on the SDW Pro Patreon. And I made real quick work of Nico Klein, but Nico has really, really evolved himself as a performer, and I'm excited to see Nico Klein. He's kind of like a mini early John Cena. He looks like a thug, but that's just because he's from the west side of Davenport, and that might as well be Fort Dodge.
I love it. Those tickets are available, guys, too. Go to madhouse.com. We're very, very, very excited to get back to Knoxville to kick off the season of Madhouse shows. So, again, get those tickets, too. That's going to be fun. I'm excited that you're going to be with us that night. All right. 2 more things before we end our time with JT Energy. It's what we do. We haven't done this in a while, I feel like, because the last few guests we have been kind of our regulars.
Yeah.
We haven't really been doing the
boring.
Yeah, we haven't been doing our bits. So what we do now is we do a little rapid fire question. We throw some questions at you. Just give us your answer. It helps us to get to know you better. Maybe wrestling related, may not be. Just off the ball stuff. And we just go for you need those tickets, Tina. Don't
get it, Tina.
Move around, Tina. We'll start with Tom, then go to JR. I'll do the last question, and we do like a few rounds, like 3, 4, 5 rounds of this. It depends where the questions go. And then we'll get into our Tom game. So go ahead, Tom. We don't have a fancy thing for this, do we, JR?
Rapid fire?
For rapid fire, let's see. I don't know.
It's a long.
We got some.
Get ready for the rapid fire speed round.
We do have something for it.
Wow.
What was that hiding?
Wow.
So, JT, what has been your least favorite venue or location you've ever wrestled?
I wrestled behind a bar in Illinois one time on a low boy small pony ring, and it was I lost that match by a stink face. So that was the worst venue I ever performed at, just based alone that we changed outside in an alley and we performed for probably like 30 people tops, and it was not an ideal scenario, but got to make that money.
Hell yeah.
Oh my gosh. So whether it be DJing or wrestling, what would be your 3 favorite most dramatic songs or tunes?
Oh man, dramatic songs. Okay, off the top of the dome, Home Sweet Home, Motley Crue. Let's go Dream On, Aerosmith.
Okay.
And What a Wonderful World, Louis Armstrong.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I like it.
Good choice.
That's eclectic.
Not an obvious one, but a good one. I like that. So after a gig or a show, what is the go-to meal?
It depends. Okay, if I'm taking care of myself, I am trying to be a good boy. I will get a big Lenny and Larry's white macadamia chocolate protein cookie, mixed with a vanilla Core Power protein drink, and then some heart healthy Planters mixed nuts. That's pretty filling. With a pineapple peach kombucha to bring it all around. Now, if I'm not behaving and I just want to gorge myself, I get 2 Uncrustables, 1 grape, 1 strawberry jelly. I will get cheese-filled breadsticks, and usually I will still my drink of choice is the pineapple peach kombucha if they have it. Otherwise, it's maybe like a pineapple and coconut bai drink. That's kind of my go-tos. Quick Star is always the spot I try to hit. Quick Stars usually have the better option than the Casey's, unfortunately, late at night. But that's just personal choice.
Yeah,
You're
sorry.
not lying.
I said Quick Trip earlier. I meant Quick Star. I forgot that I got to make sure it's correct there in Iowa.
Yeah, Quick Star's down here. Quick Trip's up there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because you guys still got that QT going on down there.
Mm-hmm.
It's everywhere else on 35 except for Minnesota. So you're a cat guy. Do you have a favorite breed of cat?
The ones that are floppy. The floppier the better. I mean, not necessarily. I've never been like my wife. She really, really wants to get someday. She wants to get a Maine Coon. Maine Coons are like the size of a dog, which to me, I'm like, if you want it, sure, whatever. We live once, right? Maybe we get it, maybe we don't. But that's just like, I feel like as a little kid, you think to yourself, I want and if you're lucky enough to get it, great. But a lot of times you have to get that, you have to buy like a purebred. And most of the time it's like, no, go shelters, just get one that needs a home. That's the better way to go. But I don't know. When it comes down to it, I've had white cats, black cats, calico cats, tortie cats. As long as they're nice and they let me pet them, that's my favorite cat.
Have you always been a cat person?
I would say so. Like I've had dogs, but I don't feel like, and maybe it's because I've never had like my own dog to form like a really deep connection with. And like in my house back at home, I feel like if we had a dog, somehow my dad always had like this deep rooted relationship with the dog. And so like I would see what he had and I'd be like, I don't have that. So maybe when I get older, I'll have a dog, I'll fall in love with that dog, and all of a sudden I'll be a dog person. Or maybe I'll have a cat and a dog. The ideal relationship would be to walk in a room and they're both like sleeping on the bed together and I just melt into a puddle. But I'm not there yet.
Okay. Yeah. The funny thing is I'm a late stage on that. Like I'm like 8 years ago is when I always hated cats until about 8 years ago. Got one because I needed a pet, couldn't have a dog.
Mm-hmm.
And now
yeah, that's the thing. I've also never been in the right scenario where like I had a job that would accommodate a dog where that dog could have the life that dog should have. Yeah. Whereas my cat, I can just like, it's like whatever flops on the floor and I know it's going to be good 8 hours from now and it's going to love me. But that dog needs to go outside. It needs to do many different things. It has a much bigger personality unless it's a very small dog. But still, I've just never had the time and effort to be able to put behind the love of a dog. And I know that dog would need.
Gar with his shit talking there.
Yeah, it's his job. So when you learned to drive, did you learn on a stick or automatic?
Automatic. My first car was a 1973 Plymouth Satellite 4-door sedan. I had a 318 engine in it. I still have that car.
Get out of here!
Which I keep not too far away from Fort Dodge, Iowa. I keep it in Humboldt, Iowa, in a storage garage. It's always been my goal that like someday I'll have money and I'll restore it, right? And I'm sure the amount of money I've put behind the storage could have been into repairs on the car. Right. But as of right now, it's just like, it's just chilling. It was my everyday driver from the time I started to drive until maybe 18. So it's like I took the 73 Plymouth Satellite. I put a CD player in it. My dad built a custom wood console that fit under the dash. So that way it looked like it was supposed to be part of the car. I made sure to get myself some lovely subwoofers to put in the back. I got some chrome Kreger wheels to put on that baby. And it's one of those things where when you drive a car that size with those big bench seats that only have the seat belts that latch across the bottom, I can tell you how many times cops would want to pull me over. I'm like, I'm wearing my seatbelt. This car just doesn't have what you want me to have, but I'm not breaking the law. But being able to like roll down the windows with manual windows and just have the wind blow in this giant car that just floats down the road, like that's just something that I hope someday I bring that car a little bit back to life, so that way I can have a Sunday driver back, even if it's just to put around my little town that I live in now.
Oh my gosh!
Go get the mail. So.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. So is it? So what's is the paint still good?
Oh, yes. I would say there's a couple spots on it, like 90% of it is good. My dad, he's very good at fixing things, and I'm not that guy. I feel like that's the one trait my dad was always like, if you would have just done this and you could have been this kind of son. But I was like, nah, Dad, I love pro wrestling and dancing and DJing, baby. You go get your hands dirty. That's not me. Let's see if we can.
Oh my gosh! Here, hold on. I'm gonna.
Hell yeah, bro!
Wow,
that is the shit right there.
Nice.
I mean, I'm sorry, but that is a beautiful looking car.
That's a great looking car.
That's in storage.
Did it have air conditioning?
No. So it just
it's a standard car.
Yeah, it just had two little vents that you pull down below.
Yes.
And then it would let air whoosh in, but you had to be super careful because if you parked under a tree, then a bunch of shit would get down in there and you'd open it up and it would just blow all over you, and then you just get pissed off.
Yeah, because there's no screen, right? I used to have a car like that had those two little things down on the bottom, and we used to hide beers down there, and it was a great place to sneak beers around.
Okay.
Thank you, degenerate Grandpa JR.
I love it.
They don't have him anymore. I'm not polluting anybody's brain.
All right, I'm going to do my question here, and then let's move on to the Tom game because we had a couple other things we want to try to do, or at least one thing we want to try to do before the end of the show. Okay. If you had to make some towns, long road trip, and it's you and 3 other people in the car, JT, and it can be anybody, literally anybody, who are you choosing to be in the car with you?
Wait, literally anybody?
Well, let's go wrestling or musicians, because that seems to be the two worlds.
Oh, you're talking like I can just shove people in my car and enjoy my life. I don't know, because if I throw 3 people in my car, yes, I love to talk and I like to have good conversations, but I really don't know those people like to a core where I'm like, I would feel like chill, right? Like if I was like, hey, Macho Man, get in my car, I'd be freaking out and pissing my pants. Or like, hey, Jeff Hardy and Batista, get in the back. This is going to be the time of our lives. Like, I also know like the things that they like, hey guys, do you want to sit and listen to podcasts and then talk about wrestling for hours? Like they probably be like, no, nerd. Of course I don't want to do that. That's my job. So let's just do this. If I wanted to sit and just shut up and drive people and see what happened, I would put Kevin Nash, Jeff Hardy, and Batista in the car ride to see how long we would drive before somebody finally turned, probably Kevin Nash, to Batista and just goes, okay, dude, how big's your dick?
Well, that's a new one. That
wins.
That wins.
All right, we got one more segment with JT.
So there you go, JT. You saw it on the screen there. The Tom game is very simple. It's like F, Marry, Kill, but you're going to pick of the 3 hosts on the show here between Ace, JR, and myself. Who will be your tag team partner? Who will be your opponent? And who is your manager?
It's a good game.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Tag. You know what? JR is going to be my tag team partner. He looks like he could go ahead and get that Ricky Morton babyface fire going. I'd be the shitty Robert Gibson looking two directions. I think we could be the feline fecal express or something of that line.
He's the old shit. I gotcha.
All right, so I got a tag partner. Who do I want to fight? And then who's my manager? Tom, I'm gonna fight you so I look good and when I beat your ass.
That's a fair point.
Mr. Ace, you can be on the outside. You have a big enough voice where you can scream like Jimmy Hart and annoy everybody. It'll be a great time.
I'll hold the kitty while you're in the ring.
Oh yeah, absolutely. My cat man on the outside, double fisting cats.
Yep. 100%. I love it. JT, this has been a blast. We can't thank you enough for doing this. I know we've talked about it a little while back. We actually planned this a while back too. I almost kind of forgot about it. That's why I love that I put things on my phone on my calendar. Dude, this has been amazing though. We've had a blast. Absolutely just a great time. What do you have? We already said it, guys. Let me get the poster back up. But Friday night, Absolute Pro Wrestling, guys. Get there, Fort Frenzy, Cardiff Event Center. Show at 7, doors at 6:30, second row, and general admission still on sale. Probably not for long, though. What else do you have? You want to push, promote, anything, social medias? Get that all out.
You can find me hopefully on everything. I try to over promote instead of under promote like a lot of independent pro wrestlers do. Independent pro wrestlers, please talk about your shit. You are a professional wrestler. Get it out there. But you can find me on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter /X, Snapchat, YouTube, Reddit. Like, if there's a place to post about pro wrestling, I'm trying to post about pro wrestling. I just want people to see it. I don't even care if I have to show it to you 500 times and then eventually you're like, screw it. Let's click on this guy's stuff today. Eventually, it's going to get you. But that is the social medias. It's at DJ Click and Play, just like here on the screen. DJ CLICKNPLAY. DJ Click and Play. Go support. Obviously, like, comment, subscribe, do all the fun stuff. The best thing you can do for independent professional wrestling is just talk about it and share it, so that way more people realize it exists around them, because that is the lone kept secret that people don't realize, whether it be a comedy show, a band, or professional wrestling. People don't know about it unless they hear about it. If you can always support via www.prowrestlingtees.com/JT Energy, where you can buy upwards of 20 different JT Energy designs, because I put them up, never take them down. You can buy orange, purple, blue, red, black, white, gray, whatever you want to wear. I probably got something for you to spice up that wardrobe or dress it down a little bit, however you want to do it. They also offer long sleeve tanks, V-necks, women's cut, men's cut, dry cotton, loose cotton, whatever you want, they got it. I will be performing this weekend, like we said, Absolute Pro Wrestling, March 15th in Fort Dodge, Iowa, SCW Pro in Bluegrass, Iowa the next night. The following weekend after that, Madhouse Wrestling in Knoxville, Iowa, the 23rd. That final one of the month, I will be taking a weekend off. The month of April will pretty much be dedicated to my honeymoon, where I will be taking my beautiful wife over to Europe. We will go to Scotland and London and Paris and Rome. And then we will fly our asses back to the United States, and SCW Pro Epic will be at the end of April. And I don't know what I'm doing yet, but this coming Saturday, I do get to go one-on-one with Dion Roosman, the Iceberg, against the Feline Phenom in a matchup that has been brewing, just like my rivalry with Alvin Falcone that is coming to a head this Friday night for Absolute Pro Wrestling. But I think that's what I talked about. The social medias where you support me, come out to a show, take a picture. I have vlogs that I put all over my YouTube and try to vlog every single show that I'm on.
Hell yeah.
So if you ever take a picture with me and you tag it, I will put it in my vlog so that you're in my vlog on my YouTube channel, where I tell people to like, comment, subscribe, and hashtag succumb to the energy.
I love it. I love it. JT, thank you, man. This has been a blast. Can we get you again sometime? Would you come back sometime down in the future?
Yeah, if I don't do podcasts every now and then, I just get real antsy that I feel like I'm not progressing forward in the professional wrestling world. So I like to do at least one a month if I can. A lot of times it feels like I go at least a year in between podcasts. But if you just hit me up and say, hey, baby, when can we get you on here? It's very easy for me to talk for an hour and 24 minutes. And
Well,
then
yeah.
that's kind of just my MO. I like to talk. I like to tell stories. I like to make memories and sit here with people who I didn't really know beforehand. And then by the end of a conversation, we go, God damn, we're just friends now. This feels great.
I
Fuck
know.
yeah.
I know. I'm super pumped to take a half day on Friday and come hang out with everybody and yourself down in Fort Dodge. And this is getting me more excited for it. So, JT, thank you again. Everybody, make sure you support him, follow him, come out to the shows, buy his shirts, give him all the monies and all the loves. And again, we will see you Friday night in Fort Dodge, my friend. Thank you again. JT Energy, everybody.
Continued
Yeah.
success.
Woo!
Buddy.
Thank you all. I appreciate you.
Well,
We even clapped
ASMR there to
on the
end
way
it.
out too. We clapped on the way out.
Hey, we did.
Double claps.
Love it. We'll pop you out and feel free to head on out of there. But have a good one, JT. All right. What we were going to do next, because we're kind of limited on time. So this is something
That'll be a
new.
question for next time there, Dan. And also to answer this part for Dan.
Oh, hang on, he's still
there, we can pop
backstage.
him back up.
Did you see
Dan,
that?
I'm back. Thanks for asking those hard-hitting questions. All right, the man is bringing all the energy. Have I ever worked for ACW or any Wisconsin promotions? ACW, unfortunately, no, I have not. Would I like to? Absolutely, yes. I believe that is Swoggle Championship Wrestling, as Brian Myers calls it. Unfortunately, I've never been booked for ACW, but I have been booked on shows with Mr. Swoggle. The only places I have ever worked for in Wisconsin, let me get these right. Fourth Wall Wrestling, I worked for in Wisconsin, which I believe is run by Mario Crivello, aka the Marman. And
Love it.
one, I can't remember the other one. I think there's actually a place called ICW that I wrestled for way back when in like 2016. It was my first show I was ever on that you were allowed to swear. And some girl was chilling and she said something. I definitely said, shut up, bitch. And I felt so cool because I was like, I was allowed to say that. Yeah. But yeah, I've only worked in Wisconsin a couple times when it comes to independent promotions, but I am not opposed to ever coming up to Wisconsin or the Minnesota area. As long as the time and the money are right, I will absolutely make the drive just to expand my repertoire where I'm going. Thank you for asking those questions, by the way. I really appreciate that.
Tell him, Dan. Tell him to book him.
Yeah. Dan knows some people.
Yeah,
Not
Dan.
many, but a few.
Just show him a picture of the really weird guy that looks like he's a cat and be like, I guarantee if he sucks, it's on me. But I don't suck. I promise I won't suck ever.
I love it. I love it. Okay. So let's do the goodbye again. Thank you, JT.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah, we love it. All right, brother. Thank you. And we'll see you Friday. All right, boys.
Hangs backstage just long enough to come back on the show.
know,
I see who the
Dan.
fucking boy is.
That's the
Dan
first guest
coming in
we've
late.
had that's ever had an encore.
It's true.
First time
That's
ever.
awesome. That's
And,
awesome.
Also, to answer this question by Dan's comment here, you did have your time in and on the show back around Christmas, but you also had Chase Owens in January. So
Wait, what?
that was last time we did the time game was January 9th because I have all the stats in front of me. And guess what, everybody? That was the 20th time somebody has picked me to be their opponent. So little milestone there. The 9th time JR has been picked as a tag team partner, and the 7th time that Ace has been the manager. Well, there you go. Little stats for you. Keep everybody engaged with the Tom game.
About that. So, ladies and gentlemen, with what we have left for time, we figured we'll try some new things out, guys, because we want the show kind of like what JT was just talking about tonight, guys, right? The show has to evolve. We can stay the same, but the show has to evolve, right? We have to keep y'all entertained
Yes.
as we do this, right? So we're gonna try a lot of new stuff in the next few months, and whatever sticks may become regular occurrences, and whatever doesn't, we may just be like, hey, that was our bad. It sucked. It was shit. I'm gonna be real honest. Nothing we do is usually shit. We're pretty smart when we put the three heads together.
We're clever. And I just want to say, I'm seeing the title of what you got here. This stuff is awesome. If you're not watching this guy's stuff on YouTube, oh my God, you got to subscribe. Seriously.
So yeah, big shout out to and I have it blown up right now. So there we go. BWG forever. I mean, we're just gonna do this. I don't think we'll get in trouble. It's YouTube, right? So we figured let's watch some crazy wrestling spots, right? And JR and I were talking about this. You guys hear it?
That was straight to the cranium.
Should I lower it?
And now Mance Warner choke slam through the chair.
Because we want to be able to talk over this, you guys. So can you hear me all right?
Yep.
Yep.
Look at that crap.
That's
One of my
just dumb.
favorite
I
things.
feel like you're just asking for the guy not to catch you. You know what I mean?
One of my
Just gonna go break my neck here in Mexico.
The strength of that dude's neck, though. Oh my goodness.
one of my favorite things watching the luchadors though is the announcers. You know something bad's going to happen when they start yelling "Peligro, peligro, peligro," which is dangerous.
Is that how it goes?
Oh, look at that. Brian Cage is a big motherfucker.
He is.
And Ciampa just picked him up. Like that.
God, the time difference between 11 years ago and now, right?
Well, not really, because Cage is still a big motherfucker.
Oh, he is, but you would never see. Well, maybe never. Let's never say never, I guess. Ciampa versus Cage now. Woo.
Yeah, you never know what could happen down the line. Fuego with the pretty colors, apparently. Is Fuego still going?
Yeah. Not in AEW, but he's just.
Oh, I know he's not. Yeah, I know he's not. Oh my gosh.
Nice coast to coast.
I'm always into a nice coast to coast. Look at this AJ, old school AJ Styles and low key. Ooh. Oh my god. Dude, low key is just so freaking
kind of underrated in a lot of aspects.
Well, he just hits so hard, dude. Oh, look at the big boy.
That's like a perfect perfect Frankensteiner.
Oh no. Oh, dude,
oh,
right on that
left
shoulder. Right on that left shoulder.
Now I don't know if
which, by the way, real quick, Dan the Dad, such a great character.
Oh, absolutely.
I gotta tell you this. So this I don't
And
know.
that's
If this
was that our boy right there, Cody Lane, who we'll may see him again in Madhouse soon.
I don't know if this will come up in this, but my son knows that anytime somebody gets a chair thrown at him, because I just laugh like a girl. I mean, just like a little schoolgirl.
Oh, look at this. There you go. Team Pen.
Oh.
Good old TNA.
Well, it's not even. It's new.
Is this new? Oh, yeah. Jesus, it is.
Mustafa Ali versus Chris Sabin. This is like a week ago.
I just saw the logo and I was like, oh, TNA. GCW is really like putting on some shows lately. Good old Effie.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking Mid-South. Oh, my God. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, my God. I will still say, like, we should actually do a watch-along or live reaction to that crazy Monkey and Masada match that I had.
Oh, yeah.
We would definitely have to have some more.
Have you seen that?
I've not.
This is making me dizzy.
Oh, Willie! I
Holy
really want to see Willie Mack live. I've never seen him live. Dude's a tank. Look at him. Oof.
Wow.
R.I.P. Daphne.
She actually died in that one. We just didn't know it. Just sorry.
Too soon.
I'm sorry.
Mercedes is Billy.
Hey, Billy.
Billy Starks is on this a lot.
Run of the show. Well, GCW is on this a lot, and wrestling
yeah.
on it a lot.
Oh my God.
Mr. Gotch.
Josh Alexander there too.
Dude, Alexander's a beast too.
Certainly is.
Oh. What was his name? I forgot.
Is that Elgin? Fuck that dude.
It was Elgin and I can't remember that.
Oh, Austin Aries, man. Smart
Talk
fucking
about a
closing.
guy. Talk about a guy whose career like kind of went south after COVID.
Right. Couple of guys we've seen in First Wrestling before. Gringo Loco,
Gringo Loco
Aramis.
Talent, bro. So is Aramis.
Yeah.
I mean,
my God.
Yeah, dude. Look at
Speaking
that.
of Dizzy, right?
What's this? Myron Reed, Cameron Jackson. I want to see Santana Jackson in person. You guys know who he is?
Yeah.
The MJ impersonator wrestler?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Myron's about to die. Dude, there's nothing better than a good shoulder tackle in a wrestling ring.
Oh yeah.
When it's a big guy who does it.
I still think Monty Brown's was the best ever. His pants was fucking fantastic.
Sojourner Bolt. I don't know if I'm even really familiar with her.
Yeah, there's a lot of these people that you don't know who they are, but god dang it, a lot of them are so good.
Good old Anthrax.
Mickey Knuckles, too, a big, I think, East Coast deathmatch wrestler.
Yeah.
Hernandez.
You beat the shit out of Crowbar here. I think it's Crowbar.
That's Idell. Give me the fake
Yes.
speed, man. Dude, like seriously, like you're just still holding that guy? What? Like I'd have dropped his ass by now, bro. Oh!
No, that's Lance Archer. Holy shit, that's a fucking beast, dude.
Is it?
Yeah.
John Wayne Murdoch. Oh, dude, that shit. I've seen like.
That looks like that guy who sings Richmond, north of Richmond.
Oh, dude,
ACH.
Tony Nese is a great heel, by the way. Whoa!
That's
Or,
crazy
sorry.
shit.
I was thinking Tony Devin. Tony Nese is good too, though.
Oh yeah.
God, what is this dude's name? Someone help me with this.
ACH?
No, him.
Oh. I missed him.
He was in WWE.
Cedric?
No. He was. I think he might have partnered with Cedric at one point.
Jesus.
Security. Who were the security? Ooh, those were knees to the gut.
Yeah.
He didn't get all the way over. Did I hear right? Jacob Fatu might have signed with WWE.
That's what it sounds like.
Uh-oh. Dang! Dang!
On his feet, too.
Right? Dude, ODB, Minnesota Zone.
Gail Kim?
Gail Kim was severely underrated in the
Oh
World
my
Wrestling.
god, yes.
So fucking good.
Awesome Kong?
Yeah.
Oh!
Honestly, if it wasn't for Gail Kim, Awesome Kong, ODB, and the beautiful people, I mean, I don't know if women wrestling gets any better than that. Like, no joke. Like, Women's Revolution is great, but
Okay, someone name him for me. Yeah, him.
I can't see his face enough.
Rich Swann?
Rich Swann, yes.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. Oh, look at Big Daddy Cool.
Oh, it hurt my knee.
I was gonna say, dude, tear his quad.
Well, the quad. Oh.
El Bendito, which
I think it
sometimes
was
he
to
gets.
be Bandito or Pendejo, but he can't make up his mind.
You're a pendejo.
Oh! At the actual Young Bucks, like they're young. Dude, look at
I'll tell you what, some
fire
of these
ropes right there. You see this shit?
Yeah,
No.
some of these Japanese women are absolutely insane.
Did you ever see the video of them training where like they just like were breaking the girl's nose?
No.
Mhm. Yeah, like
Oh!
somebody's oral bone was broken in a match over there. Yeah. Japanese women in wrestling. I hate this fucking move so much.
Why?
Because when you have guys stacked like this, one guy's very easy to get a concussion off of this, with somebody laying on his head potentially. So that was pulled out pretty well, but I hate that move so much. Where you stack guys and then fucking, either Samoan drop or Death Valley Driver or some shit.
Oh shit!
Just run off my chest, bro. We got this. 2 count.
Oof. Oh!
Now that's fucking teamwork right there.
That's a pretty coast to coast. Get up!
Come on now.
Chiseled young veterans or something like that. Grizzled young veterans.
Oh, on the Legos.
God, that's not gonna feel good.
Who was that? Was that Joey Ryan and Drake Wirtz? 2 guys who have been exiled from wrestling.
Yeah.
Spanish fly to the floor there. Oh my God, Giselle.
Oh. Uh-oh. Joey.
That's just a massive.
Wow, look at that.
Dude.
Joey looking in shape in this match.
Well, in comparison.
It's all jokes. We love it.
And I know what I look like, everybody, okay? That's why it's a joke. Fuck everybody who can't have a sense of humor.
Paige's mom. Oh, you hit right on the chair. Oh!
What?
I didn't laugh because she didn't throw it. She swung it.
To the top of the old noggin. That would look like an interesting venue, by the way. Oh, Fuego.
Oh, good God.
Fuego dead. He's dead. How many times have we seen Fuego die? Like, seriously, count it.
Well, if you count all the vlogs or Sammy's vlogs, there's probably like additional 10 on there.
Just all the times he got his ass kicked in AEW.
Yeah.
Brian Cage, homies. Oh,
Good champer there too. Good Lord.
I mean, there's not many that move like Cage for how big he is, for real.
No. And I believe that they've also kind of fucked him in AEW. It's just kind of smart.
Look at this shit. These things are always crazy.
Ultimate X. This is the.
Oh, he kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of went feet first. Dude, I'm telling you, Gringo Loco, man.
Who does he remind me of?
How's he not going to sign somewhere, dude?
Because I think he's pretty old. I think he's in his 40s, actually, still.
He's so good. It is. I was never a huge fan of him, but it's good to see Ali's still going.
Oh, yeah. Actually, some of the stuff he's doing now with New Japan and TNA, though, where he's supposed to be like a candidate and like the savior for the masses, it's fucking great, man.
Holy crap.
That was pretty.
Yeah.
Moonsault with a twist.
They both got concussions. Oh, yes.
AJ catches him.
Oh. Did you see in the back it just said dick? Ooh,
well, this was an ROH show in Japan, so they don't always have the right translation.
Chris Cash and the Joker. Oh, look at this. Old school CZ Dub. CZ Dub.
God, one of these guys died, right?
Oh,
God.
Dang, man. Can we watch that one again real quick? I'm going to rewind that one because I got to see how that guy fell.
On his fucking head.
Yeah, head first. I don't know if you saw it or not.
I want to see it again. I'm looking close this time. Oh,
well, it's because some of these flashes right there on the fucking like mid drop, and it has you cause it. You got to fucking Blake, that asshole. No flash photography at fucking events, you motherfuckers.
Yeah, and then at the end, it's always game over. Yeah.
Dude, it's insane. Good stuff. Did you guys like that? Should we watch more of these things sometimes? And
100%. I think so, but I mean, I don't know. We leave it up to the people.
I'll tell you what. I watch these things on the regular, and I think the best one is the Oh My God, but they also do a lot of other compilations, and the other compilations are not quite as interesting to me.
You know the ones I like. The other ones that he likes is the wrestlers being jerks.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Those are or the botch ones where he like almost botch. But he doesn't do a lot of those ones probably because let's be honest, there's a whole channel dedicated to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So the other thing we had planned for the show is we were going to do a new segment where we kind of debate stuff that have happened in the world of wrestling. I don't think we're worth going into that with 15 minutes left.
No, I think we're gonna.
So we'll
let's
save
say
that. But think about this, people. The topic is going to be once in a lifetime: John Cena versus The Rock, WrestleMania 28. Did WWE screw the pooch by pushing that to 29 and making it not once in a lifetime? That is the debate. I will die on the grave that bullshit should have never happened in New York.
Is it because you're? Well, you know what? We'll talk about it next time.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next time. It also a little bit had to do with the fact that I wasn't even there to see that because that was the night we got ambulanced out of WrestleMania.
Oh, that's right. That's quite a story in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, save it.
Mm-hmm.
Tune in next week, you people on the internet.
Y'all know what we got next week.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Where the hell is it?
Oh, man.
Oh, wait.
Coming soon to the 2 Count.
Worst producer ever.
I just realized it now, by the way, with that voiceover, she like does the double take and it's just coming. And it's like, oh, well.
What?
Gross.
I got to listen to this again.
Yeah, do it again.
Coming soon to the 2 Count.
It's not anything like what you just said.
Now you won't be able to unhear it, though. You know you won't be able to unhear
what
that.
you just said.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You won't be able to unhear it.
No, it's not. That's not you. You have such a gutter mind. That's
You know
not
what?
what
We'll
you
talk
said
about
at
this
all.
next week, too. John Cena on the Academy Awards. Apparently, fucking
Well,
pulling
hang on. We still got a little bit of time, so like we can do the preview.
Why? Hold. So who are we having next week then?
Well, hang on. I was trying to actually find a picture to pull up.
We're all over the place.
I didn't make any poster yet, so
No, I know you haven't, but I was gonna try to find, and right now I'm just not.
Get on it, JR.
Well, come on now.
Listen.
I don't know if he's in favor of legal marijuana or not, but he's going to be a great guest.
Tell you, that was actually a huge hit for you on
Oh, I know.
Saturday.
But dude, I do it at the end of the show all the time. That's my closer.
I know.
Okay.
It really sparked those
wait.
people.
Did the Jesse work?
Oh God,
oh yeah,
that always works.
That's why y'all got to come out and see JR do comedy. Because he's terrible on this show, but on stage, fantastic.
Yeah.
Next week's guest, returning guest, everybody. He's been here once before. We are all very, very big fans of this gentleman. We told him that when he was here. Me and JR probably gushed over him at the Madhouse show because we were just pumped that he was there and working with our friends. And it was cool to be able to work with him. And also on the game show on Fox Television.
The Floor.
Darren Corbin makes his return to 2 Count.
Red hair. Do care.
So lots to talk about. We're going to get into what he thought about Madhouse because I'm sure he has some things to say about the best announcer in the Midwest.
And why are you looking around like you're trying to find a fucking mirror or something like that, you clown?
I'm sorry. Would you say, JR? Someone else?
I bet he slaps you down and then says, "Yes, I'd certainly like to talk about John Maddening."
I would allow that though. I have respect for John. I love John. But yeah, no, we're glad to have Darren Corbin back. We're going to talk about, he was the cereal expert, as I understand it, on the floor.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So
guys, send your cereal questions in for next week with Darren Corbin. We're very, very excited at that. We got some guests coming, guys. We're picking it up now that the summer's getting here, spring's getting here. We're going to get going. We're on the road to Mania. Whole hell of a lot of fucking rumors about us getting Mania next year, which if that happens, get ready for a fun ride because we're going to really try to do some stuff then in the Minnesota.
Yeah, we are going to be
area.
We're going to try and be the fucking foremost podcast in Minneapolis for a whole year. And then if WrestleMania 41 goes down in Minneapolis after that, we're all fucking retiring.
We could do a live show and actually sell tickets and like get a good sell. Yeah, we're gonna hang our hat on that, y'all.
You know what'll happen?
We're done.
you know what'll happen? We'll get about a month away, and I'll have something happen. Like,
we know.
I'll die.
We know who the health problem would be.
Yeah. Well, but then you can make it a tribute show.
Don't, JR. Fucking A. Don't put
JR's
that
just going to die on the Jericho cruise. Then it's going to be canceled forever.
Only if we do a Viking funeral on the cruise. We just.
I still think I want to. I mean, I found out that I'm not on 11. I'm on 10, and
Yeah,
I'm thinking that's good because I'm a little bit closer for when I'm trying to fish.
God, you're dumb. Stupid
Maybe,
joke.
Dan. Here's the
Now,
deal, Dan.
here I want to bring up one thing.
If Mania is in Minnesota, we'll do mainly the indie stuff. I'll go to Mania, but I don't know if I'm going to spend like big bucks. Like I'll just get like a decent seat that's reasonably priced.
I will just say that I can finally go to Mania. That's not going to cost me an arm and leg just for fucking travel expenses.
Well,
it's
here's
the fucking road.
Our good friend Zach Takes from Shotgun was talking like, oh man, if Mania's in Minnesota, I'm coming up for the week. I probably won't go to Mania because whatever. And I told him, I'm like, but here's the deal: if you're going to come all this way, and you're going to be in town all weekend while it's here, pay the ticket because you've never been. Go at least to one night because you heard JT kind of talk about this briefly earlier when he talked about going to WrestleMania 31 and like walking into this giant stadium and this giant show. There is a special for wrestling fans who have been fans their whole lives, just of wrestling, period. Because no matter what company you prefer or what style you prefer, WrestleMania is always going to be the show of shows in that world. So as a fan, your first time experiencing it, because the whole day's an experience when you've never done it before. The pre-gaming, the getting to the stadium, the going in, the first look at the set, the first look of all the people filing in the stadium, the just everything that goes into it, the God Bless America singing, the flyover, the fireworks, the just the showmanship. It is something to see. Even if you don't necessarily like the product they're putting out, it's still buy a cheaper ticket and just go so you can say you win. Because it is worth going, man. I love going. I've been to a ton of Manias, and I, with the exception of 29, loved every one of them.
I wonder if they'll get Hulk Hogan to blow the skull horn.
Let me tell you, brothers, I'm
going to stab you with this pen if he fucking puts his lips anywhere fucking close to that goddamn Gala horn. Okay.
I just want to say, I just want to say one thing real quick, and because I know there are some Jericho cruisers that are in the chat and probably on Twitter and X.
Are you backing
and
out
I know
already?
Dan is there. One thing to keep an eye on. Shut up, you fucking idiots. One thing.
I didn't even say that one. I just laughed at it because it's fucking hilarious.
I know it is. Shut up. One thing to keep an eye on is what the hell's going on in Haiti right now, because Dominican and Haiti are on the same island.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some nasty shit going on in Haiti. And I looked it up yesterday, and there is a little bit of fear in the Dominican. So granted, it's a year away, but it's something to keep an eye on because they if it's not safe, we're probably not going to go there, right?
Oh yeah, they'll find a different port.
Yeah,
right.
Norwegian has a lot of...
Norwegian has their own island. Bahamas is always an easy replacement if needed.
Cozumel's always a possibility too, just because it's easy to get in and out.
Yeah, and to be honest, it was kind of bad weather, so half the excursions got canceled anyways. So,
do you think they would just drive around to Key West?
No, they would. Still
fuckers!
They want to make it international.
They would still probably try to port. Well, also because they.
Oh yeah, you gotta go. You got to go away out into international water in order to do a lot of that shit. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that, and then on top of that, like they do plan for that day at port where most people are off the boat. So like, if they didn't do that, because even if like it's bad weather, we still go.
Yeah.
You still port and sit there all day. So like I said, they'll just go to a different port. We'll still leave Miami and all that shit.
Yeah. Okay. By the way, book the airfare.
Jesus, I haven't done that yet. Yeah, dude, I'm pumped. I was talking to Nella earlier today, and also him and I were at that Pinnacle show this last weekend here in Rochester. We were talking about the cruise. Dude is pumped. He can't wait. I'm excited. I can't. It's gonna be a good times. But yeah, I would expect an announcement on Mania. They announced today Cleveland officially for SummerSlam.
What a fucking trash existence that city is.
I wonder
It's
if
already bad
Butch is
enough you're
actually
gonna
going to go to that shithole.
Well,
Huh?
here's the worst thing about this. They have 2 major fucking wrestling pay-per-views happening in Philadelphia in a year, and then they still decide to go to fucking Cleveland for SummerSlam? What garbage fucking decision makers are over there right now?
Well, Logan Paul's from there.
Yeah. Okay, so is The Miz and Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah,
but
well, Logan Paul's worth a whole lot more money than those two.
I get it, but also
and Ziggler's not there anymore.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, if we're throwing out who the fuck's from Cleveland,
Nemeth, idiot.
Did you also see that
Nemeth, asshole?
Whatever.
Did you also see that Miro and CJ Perry are getting divorced?
Yeah,
Ooh.
I mean, like, those two hadn't like really been around each other on social media.
Oh,
in,
right.
like 2 years. So it was more of like, oh, okay, yeah, I kind of figured.
I just miss Miro.
I kind of wish we all knew before the cruise, though, because man, how funny would that have been just to watch her get hit on all day and night on that thing?
It would have been depressing because there'd be a lot of guys like, come on, CJ, come on, just one time with a good old fan.
And then I'm like, Tom, we have to go.
Yeah, leave her alone, Tom.
I wouldn't say it like that. I'd be like, CJ, how's the finger? All right, see you later.
That's what he really said, actually.
That's exactly what I fucking did.
I'll tell you what, though, she was a party on the boat. She was loving life. She wanted to party with everybody. So.
Oh, yeah. She was. Her and Harley Cameron were like the life of the fucking party on that boat, man. If you could find those two, you'd be.
And Prince Nana.
Prince Nana, yeah, in RJ City's hilarious in person, by the way, too. Looking forward to another year, boys.
Yeah, my guess is they'll bring RJ City back on that. So, JR, you'll have to be like, hey!
Do you remember me?
when I worked with you?
I was the dumb motherfucker that tried to get a promo with a mask on with David Arquette.
And he's going to be like, I do remember you.
Oh, yeah, you're that asshole. I remember you right away.
This fucking guy.
I love it. Well,
Tom.
ladies and gentlemen, here's the deal. Please, like, I don't know where you're watching this, but if you're on Twitch, subscribe or whatever it is. Follow. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. Make sure you're on Instagram, Facebook, X, or Twitter. Follow us, the 2 Count. Keep up to date on everything. We're about to launch a TikTok, y'all. We'll have the deets next week.
Does that mean I'm going to have to figure out how to make this thing vertical?
No, it just means you have to learn how to make some posts occasionally on TikTok.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, just be funny and entertaining, and you'll be fine. We appreciate it. We appreciate everybody that's been here tonight, though. We really want to see the show grow. We want to be able to entertain everybody. They did say they're friends, so you're always going to be friends with the person you fucked inside a tank.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of the storylines just got to them both. Miro's apparently a cuckold, and anyhow, adios, everybody.
Wait. Was she really banging Bobby Lashley then?
Who knows?
Motherfucking Bob Lashley?
Never got CJ and Miro never got put together really on AEW, so
Bob Lashley.
Maybe he's not really the Redeemer. Maybe he's just more the. I'm not gonna say it. That's gross. It's sign off before I say something really disgusting gets possibly canceled.
You guys are going to be down in Fort Dodge on Saturday at AP.
Friday night.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, enjoy that. I will be in Buffalo Lake, Minnesota on Saturday. If you happen to be there or even know where it is, because I don't know where the hell it is. It's a fundraiser for the fire department. Come on out. I believe there was a change, so I think I'm working with absolute comedy legend Don Reese. So if you're out in that neck of the woods, come on out. If you aren't, I don't care.
Follow Jay.
But
follow Jay.
Thank you, Jesse. You're the best.
Anyway.
And Dan is too for trying to throw us some cheers and stuff too. You guys are the best. Oh, look, he just did it again.
It's hard. See, the thing is, it's hard to do the cheers, and it's hard to get a hype train going on Twitch if there aren't that many people on Twitch.
We understand this, but at this point,
we still appreciate the support.
yeah,
Absolutely, we appreciate the support. There's no denying that.
We just enjoy that people are watching. So
that's true. We love everybody.
Also, we are weeks away from WrestleMania. So stay tuned for those watch along plans and announcements as they come in the next coming weeks here. We guarantee you we are already doing a Saturday night watch along just like last year. As of right now, same plan. Tommy's coming to Roch. JR will already be here working. We got some special guests, and we're going to do it in Casa de Ace here with Discount as a special guest. You didn't even fucking come on the show for the cat guy.
Stop yelling at your cat, you fucking lunatic.
Maybe he was jealous.
He literally just like looked at me like,
fuck off.
Like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah,
you leave me at the house all the time by myself. I love you, man, but you fuck you. I feel like that's what this cat would say to you, right? Am I right?
No, he's probably like, leave my house more. Just make sure there's food. That's probably what he would say. Yeah, no, we got a lot of good stuff coming up though. And then not this Saturday, but next Saturday, the 23rd, again, Madhouse Wrestling, Knoxville, Iowa. Get your tickets for sale now. We got JT Energy on the card. We're gonna have some really great matches that night. Really excited to get back into the swing of things with the Madhouse boys. We went off riding real high last year, guys, after that show in November here at the Chateau. We're excited to bring that show back too come November. Some other cool stuff in the fall, but yeah, we're really, really excited, and it'll be good to see the fam and the Madhouse fam and connect with everybody again. So please get tickets for that one. Absolute Madhouse. Got 2 big weeks coming at you with tons of action.
Join us next week for Darren Corbin, everybody, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.